explain and share what drew you to this field of mental health? And what does mental health mean to not just you personally?
We went through a very interesting journey because I changed a lot of schools. I had to cope up and adjust with different kinds of friends, teachers, every 2 years of my life.
And why do you think personally it's important to talk about mental health, especially amongst young people?
Mental health is more about how we are feeling, about our moods, about our emotions, about how those feelings and emotions affect behavior.
What are some signs that someone may be struggling with their own mental health?
Whatever exercise that helps you rejuvenate, not just physically but mentally as well.
Hello and welcome everyone to the CNS Dialogue Den, where your voice matters. I'm Sanaya from 8th grade, and today we're discussing a topic that truly matters: mental health. Do you know this year's theme? Mental health is a universal human right, which reminds us that everyone, no matter where they are, deserve to feel loved, supported, and cared for when it comes to their mental well being. To help us explore this important topic, we are joined with a very special guest, Dipakshi ma'am, who has been working passionately to spread awareness and support mental wellness in our community. Welcome, Dipakshi ma'am, and we're so happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Likewise, the pleasure is all mine.
We have a few questions for you that we'd like to ask. Could you please introduce yourself and explain and share what drew you to this field of mental health?
So, I've now joined the Full Circle, which is a very innovative platform for seeking mental health and well being. As the Chief Customer Officer for the Full Circle, I think it's a very important cause, and it is something that is recognized as very critical, not within the corporate space only, but also within schools, educational institutions, and everywhere. Right? When we talk about mental health, we're talking about our moods, our behaviors, our joys, our fears. And I think this is something that is close as a subject to all of us. We all experience different moods, behaviors within our families, within our children, everywhere within our ecosystem. And therefore, I feel that I'm extremely passionate about mental health and well being. Yeah.
And what does mental health mean to not just you personally?
So, mental health today is a part of our entire ecosystem. There are internal and external factors that affect our mental well being and our moods and behaviors. While it is easier to control what affects us externally, it is a lot more difficult to control what actually affects us internally. And personally, I feel that my own journey as a child, I come from an armed forces background. Both my parents were in the armed forces.
Oh, wow.
So we went through a very interesting journey because I changed a lot of schools. I had to cope up and adjust with different kinds of friends, teachers, every 2 years of my life.
Oh, wow.
So
That
that is,
must have
I
been
think,
difficult.
yes, has been interesting for me so far. Yes.
Oh. And why do you think personally it's important to talk about mental health, especially amongst young people?
So that is a subject I feel that is not talked about very often because of certain stigmas associated with it. It is a perception around us that exists within not just children but grown-ups, and that is why it becomes even more important to create that platform, a platform similar to the one that I am associated with now, which is the Full Circle, in order for not just grown ups, but also children to come out in the open, talk, understand their emotions, be able to handle and cope up with them better, and use platforms like the Full Circle to be able to express better and recognize where they need help without prejudice, without any judgment, and make it more accessible to everyone in the society.
Thank you, ma'am. What are some common myths or misconceptions that a lot of people have about mental health that you'd like to correct?
So, mental health versus mental illness. So, one, I think there is a difference in the two, right? Mental health is more about how we are feeling, about our moods, about our emotions, about how those feelings and emotions affect behavior. Mental illness is something that is diagnosable, that requires treatment, has symptoms, and has a structured approach when it comes to correcting it. So there is a difference between the two. Also, I think people have very judgment based approaches towards mental health without really understanding and recognizing that it's absolutely okay to ask for help. It's absolutely fine to be heard, to be understood, right? So I think those are some of the things that we plan to address and that we are looking to actively address through our platform. Yeah.
That's beautiful, ma'am. What are some signs that someone may be struggling with their own mental health?
So if you notice change in behavior of a person, if you notice that there is suddenly more anger visible within a child, the ability to not express enough, or the person becomes very closed, does not want to have a lot of conversation, does not behave in the way that he or she usually does. I think that clearly talks about the fact that he or she is going through some mental struggle. Also, if someone decides that he or she is, wanting to be more violent, which is unusual, right? So that is a sign that somebody is, mentally struggling with something and not being able to express enough. So anger, I think, is the foremost and the first most, way of people expressing something that they are not being able to express usually through words. Yeah.
That was truly insightful about how we can identify someone who's struggling.
Don't
How
worry.
can students take care of their own mental health during times that are quite stressful, like their examinations?
Good question. So, I think as a child, when I went through examinations, typically the expectation was that we need to complete certain amount of course in a certain period of time, which is applicable to all the students today as well, right? So there is a lot of subject that needs to be covered. Some children do it faster, some children do it slower, but during the exams, while there is a lot of stress, what is very important is to take a lot of sleep. Sleep sufficiently. Let your brain take the rest that it needs to. Hydrate yourself. Okay, it's extremely important. Take breaks. Divide your curriculum into smaller chunks. Okay, so that you have smaller milestones created for yourself that you can cover, and it does not become overwhelming. Okay, try and exercise, and at least take out 30 minutes out of your schedule every day to move your body, get up, go out for a walk. Okay, whatever exercise that helps you rejuvenate, not just physically but mentally as well. Practice those exercises. Try breathing. I've This is something that I've noticed with myself as well. To the count of four, inhale, hold your breath to the count of four, and then release. Okay, do that regularly throughout the day in smaller intervals. Deep breathing and breathing holistically help you deal with stress way better. So, some of these, I think, if they are practiced, especially during exams, will help children deal with the stress of exams way better.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing this with the students. Um, what would you say to a student who's afraid or quite embarrassed to talk to someone about how they feel inside?
So, one, I think the clarity that it is absolutely okay to have certain feelings or emotions. And I think that support and that confidence also comes from the ecosystem around them, right? Which is your teachers, the school that you study in, your parents, extended family. And it becomes important for the extended family, immediate parents, teachers, and the school to keep extending that comfort and reassurance to the student that one, they are approachable. Second, nobody is judging you, right? And third, most importantly, that whatever feeling or emotion that you are going through, it is absolutely okay and valid to express. No feeling can be invalidated. And I think it becomes the responsibility of the entire ecosystem around the student to create that feeling of reassurance and being approachable.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next question. Can you suggest a few simple self care practices that student can include in their daily routine, no matter how busy?
So, a lot of times children feel that physical exercise is unnecessary because I've already been to school and I already had a physical education uh, period, and now I think I'm done. But I would recommend strongly for every child to pick one activity for himself or herself away from the gadget. Okay, most importantly, away from the gadget, something that engages the child out of his or her own choice. Okay, indulge in that physical exercise or activity. Spend time with your friends or peers who you feel give you that kind of reassurance and support and an active listening ear to what you have to say. Because I think more than often, what is missing is us wanting to talk to people, whether it is for grown ups or for children. You want to be heard, right? And you want to feel safe while you're being heard, right? So spend time in talking to people who you are confident, one, that they do not judge you, they will listen to you very actively and patiently. Spend time away from gadgets. I would say limit time. I know it's actually practically impossible to spend all your time looking at the digitization around, but try and make an effort to limit it, right? And indulge in physical activity, deep breathing, focus on yourself. Most importantly, and this is for younger children as well as for older children, focus on something that helps you become a better person.
Thank you, ma'am. And that was truly informative about people who are struggling. What message would you like to share with the students who are listening to this? Not just students, but people in general who are listening to this podcast.
So I've particularly, like I said in the past, that mental health and well-being is a very important subject today, and through our platform and our organization, which is the Full Circle, our attempt is to make it more accessible, be non-judgmental about it, and to ensure that people get time through early intervention to be able to address some of the issues that we see today related to mental health. Early intervention is a key step towards identifying issues with how we are feeling mentally, whether it is mental illness or mental health. And I think schools and colleges, educational institutions have complete responsibility to ensure that the student feels safe, is able to express himself, and does not feel that he or she is going to be judged. So, our platform, which is the Full Circle, can be leveraged. We are absolutely happy to provide support to students and to parents on different subjects, growth milestones, you wanting to talk and being heard. And that's where we come in. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Now for a personal question. If you could go back in time and give just one piece of advice to your younger self about mental health, what would it be?
Don't be afraid. And I think that that is something that I can say to my younger self, that don't be afraid of voicing out how you feel, right? Um, Almost all the time as a child, I felt that maybe this is a feeling that I should not be talking about to my parents because they might judge me, or they might feel that I should correct it on my own. And it might not sound healthy to them. But going back in time, I feel that as parents, and today that I'm a parent, we love our children, right? And we'll be ready to hear what our child has to say. I'll be happy to try and help my child today rather than my child not wanting to talk about it and not feeling safe. So I would want to address an issue with my child way before it becomes a problem or a hurdle for him or her in their daily activities. So this is my messaging to all the children out there, all the parents out there, that make yourself approachable to your child, right? And for children particularly, do not be afraid. Your parents are working very hard to make things available for you. They will be very happy to listen to you. So be absolutely honest and transparent with your parents. Do not be afraid of your parents and your teachers.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure this was truly informative, not just for the students, but for the parents too. Thank you so much, Dipakshi ma'am, for sharing your time, insights, and wisdom with us today. Your words must have helped someone or someone out there understand the importance of taking care of our mental health and supporting each other. To everyone listening, remember, it's okay to ask for help, to talk about how you're feeling, and to take time for your own well-being. Mental health matters, and you are not alone. Let's continue to create a world where mental health is seen, heard, and supported, not just today, but every day. Thank you again for joining us, Ms. Dipakshi ma'am, and thank you for listening and tuning in. Take care and be yourself, and be kind to yourself and others.
Thank you, Sanaya. Thank you, CNS, for having me over.
I'm your host Sanaya, signing off at the CNS Dialogue Den, where your voice matters.